She was half buried in snow, lips blue, whispering my name. And I almost kept walking. The woman who destroyed everything I believed in was dying 10 feet away from me. Her fingers, the same ones that had touched another man for months, now clawed weakly at the frozen ground. The blizzard screamed around us like nature itself was demanding justice. One step forward meant saving her. One step back meant freedom. I stood there, snow piling on my shoulders, and made my choice. But to understand why I almost let my ex-wife die in that Montana blizzard, you need to know what she did 11 months earlier. Thank you for listening. If this story resonated with you, leave a comment below and subscribe to this channel for more infidelity stories and cheating wife stories on YouTube. My name is Jack Morrison. For 15 years, I was half of what everyone called couple goals in Phoenix. A battalion chief married to an award-winning travel photographer. We had the house, the plans, the future, mapped out like a GPS route to happiness. Here's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't announce itself. It whispers. It started with coffee cups. I know that sounds insane, but hear me out. I'd leave for my 5 a.m. shift, and when I'd come home, there'd be 2 mugs in the sink. Always 2. Sarah drank tea, not coffee. She'd been drinking tea for 15 years.
Started liking coffee again,
she said when I finally asked. Her smile was perfect. Too perfect. Like she'd rehearsed it in the mirror. Then came the showers. My wife, who used to complain about wasting water, suddenly needed to shower the moment she walked in the door. Every single time. The bathroom would fog with steam, mirror dripping with condensation, and she'd emerge with skin scrubbed pink, smelling like guilt masked by lavender soap.
The Houston assignment had me in refineries all day. The smell gets in your hair,
she explained. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her. But when someone you've loved for 15 years starts humming songs you've never heard, starts sleeping in workout clothes, just in case, starts passwording their phone for the first time ever, you know. Deep down, you know. Tell me, have you ever ignored your gut instinct about someone you love? Yeah. Me too. The real changes began when she got the National Geographic contract.
Baby, this is it. This is everything we dreamed about.
She was bouncing like a kid on Christmas morning. I spun her around our kitchen, both of us laughing. If I could go back, I'd tell that fool to look closer. She wasn't excited about the job. She was excited about the escape route. When you're 25, you think you can start fresh anytime. At 45, you know every ending takes a part of you with it.
The writer they paired me with is incredible. Used to work for the Times, Marcus Chen.
Marcus. Even now, that name tastes like battery acid. Every dinner became a Marcus highlight reel. Marcus said this. Marcus thinks that. Marcus showed me this little jazz bar in Austin. The San Antonio assignment changed everything. What was supposed to be 2 weeks became a month, then 6 weeks.
The magazine needs what it needs,
she'd say, already looking past me toward her next departure. I understood dedication. What I didn't understand was why she stopped calling at night. Why her texts went from paragraphs to single emoji responses. Why she flinched, actually flinched, when I touched her after she returned from that assignment. Our bedroom became a demilitarized zone. She'd angle her body away, claim exhaustion, keep that damn phone clutched like a lifeline even in her sleep. The mattress had become a continental divide. 2 bodies, 2 worlds, 0 connection. And every night I'd lie there wondering, when did I become a stranger in my own bed? April 15th, 3:30 a.m. I woke with a throat like sandpaper. Sarah's phone lit up on her nightstand. She'd forgotten it in her rush to catch an early flight to Dallas. The preview notification lasted 3 seconds. 3 seconds that ended everything.
Still taste you on my lips. Can't wait for Tuesday. Tell him the assignment got extended again.
Him. I'd become him. My hands didn't shake. They went completely still. The kind of still that comes before an explosion. I didn't touch the phone. Not yet. Instead, I lay there for exactly 18 minutes. I counted, breathing like I was approaching a chemical fire. Slow, controlled, assessing the danger before engaging. The bedroom felt different now. The photos on our dresser, our wedding, vacations, 15 years of smiles, suddenly looked like evidence from someone else's life. Some doors, once opened, can't be closed. But living in a burning building wasn't an option anymore. Her passcode was my badge number. Of course it was. We'd never had secrets. The messages were all there. 4 months of betrayal in high definition. Photos that made my stomach turn. Videos I wish I could unsee. Conversations that shredded 15 years of marriage into confetti.
Last night was incredible. You're incredible. 3 more days of pretending, then I'm all yours again.
I screenshot everything, methodically, like documenting a crime scene. Sent them to my email. Placed her phone exactly where I'd found it, at the same angle, screen down. Then I sat on the bathroom floor until dawn, planning my vanishing act. Here's what they don't tell you about discovering an affair. The rage isn't the hardest part. It's the moment you realize you've been living with a stranger. She called that morning from Dallas, voice bright and fake as costume jewelry.
Hey, baby. Just landed. Should be home Thursday now. They want us to shoot the botanical gardens, too.
How's Marcus? My voice perfectly steady. 20 years of staying calm during emergency calls paying off. A pause. Too long.
He's good. Working hard on the article.
I'll bet he was.
Love you,
She added, out of habit more than feeling. Have a good shoot, Sarah. I didn't say it back. She didn't notice. The moment her phone showed delivered, I became a ghost. First, the bank. I withdrew exactly half our savings in cash, $52,000. Not a penny more. Fair is fair, even in destruction. Next, my resignation letter. 22 years of service ended with 2 sentences. Effective immediately. Personal emergency. I packed 1 bag. Work boots, thermal gear, first aid kit. The watch my father gave me when I made captain. Left my wedding ring on her pillow, centered like evidence at a crime scene. The morning light through the window made it gleam, a spotlight on 15 years of lies. The metal caught the sun, throwing tiny rainbows on the wall. Beautiful. Empty. Just like our marriage. The hardest part was calling my brother Steve. I'm disappearing for a while. Don't look for me. I'll contact you when I'm ready.
Jack, what the hell?
Trust me, please. I destroyed my phone at a truck stop in Flagstaff. Watched 18 years of photos, messages, memories disappear under 18 wheels. The crunch of plastic and glass sounded like freedom. Pieces scattered across asphalt like digital confetti, a celebration of endings. Then I drove north. No destination except away. Sometimes the loudest statement you can make is silence. Sometimes the best revenge is simply vanishing. And that was the day Jack Morrison died, and someone colder took his place. 11 months. That's how long I stayed dead to my old world. Whitefish, Montana became home by accident. Truck broke down. Needed work. Found a job at a survival camp for executives who wanted to play mountain man for a week. The owner, Beth, hired me after watching me build a shelter in a snowstorm. No questions about my past. No social media checks. Just, can you work? And, can you teach?
You don't talk much.
She observed after my first week. No.
Good. Our clients talk enough for everyone.
Beth was everything Sarah wasn't. Director. Honest. No games. She had sun-weathered skin and hands that could start a fire or stitch a wound with equal skill. Eyes that saw you, not through you.
Whoever she was,
Beth said one night after I'd declined dinner for the 6th time.
she must have done something special to put that look in your eyes.
That obvious?
You've got that 1,000-yard stare.
She touched my shoulder briefly.
When you're ready, I'm here. No rush.
The man who'd trusted blindly was gone. In his place stood someone harder, leaner. A man who knew that the most dangerous fires are the ones that burn slow and hidden. Winter in Montana strips you down to essentials. No pretense survives at 20 below. Just truth, work, and the satisfaction of earning your survival. December 18th, 3 p.m. I was teaching a Microsoft executive how to read wind patterns when she walked through the lodge door. Time stopped. Sarah stood in the entrance, snow dusting her dark hair. Thinner, older, eyes scanning until they found mine, and widened in recognition despite the beard, despite the muscle, despite everything that had changed. The executive was still talking about cloud formations. I nodded, kept teaching. But inside? Inside, a year of carefully built walls started to crack. My body tensed for fight or flight. But I did neither. Just continued my lesson, voice steady. Wind from the northwest means weather coming. You can smell the moisture change. The executive nodded, oblivious to my world tilting off its axis 10 feet away. Sarah waited until the lesson ended, then approached like she was defusing a bomb.
I need a room.
She said quietly. No tears, no scene, just 4 words hanging between us like a blade. I could have thrown her out, could have demanded answers, could have made her pay. Instead, I processed her registration with professional detachment, slid the key across the counter.
Cabin 12, end of the trail. Breakfast at 7.
Her fingers brushed mine, taking the key. I didn't react.
Jack ...
She started. That's not my name here. I lied smoothly. It's Michael. She flinched. Good. That night, she caught me by the fire pit. The flames danced between us. Fitting, since our marriage had burned down too.
How long are you going to pretend you don't know me?
How long did you pretend you loved me? Silence stretched between us like a taut wire.
I hired 3 private investigators.
She said finally.
The credit card charge at that gas station in Kalispell was the only trace you left.
Should have used cash.
Why, Jack? Why just vanish? Why not confront me?
I stood, tossing another log on the fire. Sparks rose into the Montana darkness like tiny prayers. Because rage would have made me the villain, the crazy, jealous husband. This way, you gotta sit alone with what you did. No one to blame but yourself.
It worked,
She whispered.
I nearly went insane. The silence was worse than any screaming match.
Good,
I brought something.
she said, pulling out an envelope.
Everything I couldn't say. Everything I dash.
I don't want your letter, Sarah. Tell me, would you have taken it? Read her excuses? Or done what I did, refuse to give her the satisfaction of explaining?
Then take this. Another envelope. Legal documents. A cabin in Estes Park. 20 acres. Mountain views. It's yours. Already transferred.
I took the papers. Business transaction. Nothing more. Marcus? I asked, surprising myself.
Lasted 2 weeks after you left. Said I was too much drama now that it was real.
Her laugh was bitter as winter wind.
I lost 3 more contracts. Had to sell the house. Spent 8 months in therapy trying to understand why I destroyed the best thing in my life. For someone who saw me as convenient.
Convenient, I repeated. That's what 15 years meant to him.
That's what it meant to me, apparently.
She stood to leave.
I'm here 2 more days. Then I'll disappear forever if that's what you want.
It is. But even as I said it, something twisted in my chest. Not love, not forgiveness, just the ghost of what used to be. The storm hit the next morning like the wrath of God. By noon, visibility was 0. Power out. Guests huddled by fires.
Your ex went hiking.
Thomas, our maintenance guy, mentioned.
North Trail, early morning.
My blood chilled. North Trail in a blizzard was suicide. How long?
Maybe 7 a.m.? Said she wanted to understand your world.
6 hours. In this weather, she was already dying. Beth caught my arm as I geared up.
You can't. Not in this.
I know the trail,
She made her choice.
and I'm making mine.
This hero complex is going to kill you.
Maybe. But I won't let her die on my mountain. The storm hit like a living thing. Wind-driven snow, blind even with goggles. I moved by instinct and muscle memory, calling her name into the white void. 2 miles in, I found her scarf, red against white like blood on snow. Another half-mile, footprints veering off trail. Classic panic behavior. I found her huddled against a fallen tree, body curled, fetal, barely conscious. Frost had painted her eyelashes white, ice crystals catching what little light filtered through the storm. Her lips were the color of old bruises. Snow had already started to bury her legs.
Jack?
Don't talk! Save energy! I wrapped her in the emergency blanket, lifted her against my chest. She weighed nothing. All those months of guilt had eaten her alive.
Still saving me.
She mumbled against my shoulder. Shut up.
Never stopped loving you.
I said shut up.
Know you hate me, deserve it, but needed you to know.
Her voice faded. I pushed harder through the snow. Tell me, what would you have done? Saved her? Or walked away? Because in that moment, with her dying in my arms, I still wasn't sure I'd made the right choice. When lodge lights finally appeared through the storm, my legs nearly gave out. Beth and the staff rushed out, taking Sarah inside. I stood in the doorway, snow-covered and shaking, not from cold. One step forward to save her, just like in my marriage. Always one step forward to save us, until the day I finally stepped back. 2 days later, she was stable enough to travel. I knocked on her cabin door the night before she left.
You saved me again.
She said, propped up in bed. Don't read into it. I'd have done it for anyone.
No, you wouldn't have.
She studied my face.
The old Jack would have. But this new version? He would have let a stranger die.
She wasn't wrong.
What I said out there, about still loving you,
You were hypothermic. People say things.
doesn't make them untrue.
I moved to leave.
Wait,
She called.
there's something else. Something that happened after you left.
I don't care about your therapy breakthrough, Sarah.
I was pregnant.
The world tilted. My hand froze on the doorknob. I repeated.
I lost it at 11 weeks, 2 months after you disappeared.
Her voice broke.
I don't even know. I mean, the timing.
It was his.
You don't know that. 4 months, Sarah. You were with him for 4 months. Do the math.
Silence stretched between us like a gulf.
I named her anyway,
She whispered.
in my mind. Emma, after your mother.
Something inside me, something I thought was dead, cracked a little. For the first time in a year, I didn't know if walking away had been the right move. Would you have forgiven her in that moment, knowing what you know? Or would you have done what I did next? Get some rest, I said. Long drive tomorrow.
Jack?
I stopped at the door.
I know I destroyed us. I know there's no forgiveness for what I did. But thank you for saving me, for letting me say goodbye properly, for becoming someone stronger than I ever deserved.
I left without responding. Some words are too heavy to carry. But her words followed me into the cold night air. Emma, she'd named a ghost after my mother. The woman who'd betrayed everything had named our never-was child after the one person who'd never betrayed anyone. A month later, Steve called.
Sarah's in the hospital. Car accident. Drunk driver hit her.
The world paused. Is she?
Critical, but stable. She's not asking for you. I just thought you should know.
I stared out at the Montana mountains for a long time after that call. Beth found me there as the sun set, painting the peaks gold and crimson.
You're going to see her.
She said, not a question. Number that chapter's closed.
Maybe you need to go. For you, not her.
What I need, I said, pulling her close, is right here. What I need is someone who sees me, not through me. She kissed me then, soft and sure. No games, no pretense, just truth. Besides, I added, some bridges are meant to stay burned. 6 months later, I used Sarah's guilt money to buy my own land in Montana. 40 acres of pure mountain peace. Beth helped me build the cabin by hand. Every nail driven was therapy. Every board, placed, was progress.
Any regrets?
She asked one night, watching the sunset paint the mountains gold. Number regrets mean you'd change something, but changing something means this. I gestured at our life, our home, our hard-won peace, might not exist.
Very zen of you.
Very practical of me. Sarah sent one more letter. Beth offered to burn it unread, but I opened it. 1 page. Simple.
Thank you for disappearing. It taught me that the cruelest punishment isn't anger, it's absence. You gave me exactly what I deserved. Nothing. No closure, no absolution. Just the echo of my own choices. I'm in recovery now, not from the accident. From myself. I hope your silence has brought you the peace I stole. Sarah.
I burned the letter in our fire pit, watched the past turn to smoke and drift away on mountain wind.
Feel better?
Beth asked. Feel nothing. And that's everything. But that wasn't quite true. I felt free, like a man who'd walked through fire and realized he was fireproof all along. If you're listening to this because someone betrayed you, here's what I learned. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And the most powerful response to betrayal isn't revenge, it's rebirth. Sarah broke me. That's a fact. But she didn't get to decide what I built from the pieces. I chose Montana. I chose Beth. I chose to become someone who could survive anything because I'd already survived the worst thing. Sometimes, the loudest statement is silence. My name is Jack Morrison. I was betrayed, broken, and reborn. And if I could go back, I'd disappear all over again. Because that's how phoenixes rise, not from the flames, but from the ashes. And brother, I've never stood taller than I do on this mountain, with an honest woman by my side, and a silence that speaks louder than any scream. If this story moved you, like this video, and subscribe for more infidelity stories, cheating wife stories, lost love chronicles, and inspirational stories about finding the strength to start over.